cutting-edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. Welcome back to another Send It Sunday, January the 25th, and Scavino has just dropped a Carol of the Bells post with a Q Delta to 2018. Vox Populi's Callum Smiles joins me yet again on his 5th show here on the Sovereign Soul Show for a razor-sharp breakdown. He has just returned from the WEF conference in Davos. Talk about the collapsing narrative straight from Davos, the complete death of the WEF globalist policies, plus plenty of laughs from this professional comedian. We're also going to dive deep into President Trump's unstoppable winning streak, why silver is primed for a massive surge to $3.75 an ounce. It's sitting there at $103 an ounce right now. Gold over $5,000. Greenland's independence push, the 51st state deal, Alberta's sovereignty, screaming from the awake, aware patriots all across the world. We'll see you soon in the live chat. Welcome back to Sunday, January 25th, 2026. What an incredible time it is to be alive, you incredible divine lions and lionesses. I'm your host, Brad Wozni. You know you're on the Sovereign Soul Show. You can see behind me. Once again, our creed, love, levity in the middle, and liberty. And of course, the heart is the O in sovereign, and Archangel Michael's sword, as well as a cross for the I in sovereign, as well as the tree of life and O. Yep, we've got the Bling Buddha. He's firing pills of awakening from his 9mm. He's got a big old smile on his face because levity, laughter's best medicine. That's what Callum is going to deliver here in a very big way. Very shortly, you'll see that. Dove of Peace on the Bling Buddha's shoulder. Of course, once again, he's got the lotus flower in his right hand. And if it's your first time, notice over here, what's he wearing? He's got a gold necklace, and he's actually got a silver medallion. XRP token is what that's all about. So welcome to this incredible, powerful time to be alive. I mean, I can't get tired of saying that. And for many of the reasons why. Just a few days ago, I did the show on what President Trump had shared at Davos, and immediately out, he got on Air Force One and came back. The Board of Peace, which has been signed. If you've been living under a rock, hey, welcome. Because if you're part of the Great Awakening and you're here, this is the time, this is the moment to choose tyranny, death, enslavement. That's exactly what it is. Or enlightenment, empowerment, prosperity, peace, freedom. And that's exactly what the crossroads are at for people right now. And we know that many, when we talk about what's going on, Greenland, I'll chat about that deal very briefly, as well as the Alberta independence movement. I'm an Albertan. Well done for everybody putting the work out. 62,500 signatures on the independence petition in just the last week. And everybody is saying, Brad, wait, you've been saying for years, you've been showing, and we now know, because, you know, ignorance in the information age is a choice, right? You can see that the Crown Corporation of Canada was registered in July 1st, 1867, Washington, D.C. It's company, business entity like McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. That's all it is. And its own security guards, police force, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who have an oath to the Queen or the King of England, depending on who's alive at that point in time. But we saw the transfer of the guard. We saw that happen just a few months ago when President Trump was over there in England at Windsor Castle. They flew the American flag on Windsor Castle. You had the transfer publicly of the ownership of the UK corporation over to President Trump. And newsflash, go ahead, call me conspiracy theorist, because we're battling 1,007 to 0, or maybe it's 10,007 to 0 right now, is they made President Trump the king of the Western Hemisphere. And by the way, if anybody needs to fact check that, go take a look at Mark Carney's account on Twitter X, and every actual government official around the world, yes, even in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, to Europe, Switzerland, Norway, and of course across America, Mexico, down to Argentina, over to El Salvador, Ecuador, Venezuela. How come Mark J. Carney, at Mark J. Carney, doesn't have A gray check mark. Wasn't he supposed to be an elected official as of April 2025 as the Prime Minister of Canada? But when you go there, and by the way, President Trump, the White House account on X, the POTUS account, and also the 47 rapid response account on X and Truth are tagging Mark Carney, and that Mark Carney account that has a blue check mark, not a gray one. The comms are just everywhere and they're incredible. So when you look at Alberta independence movement and you're saying, Brad, wait, Canada is a corporation. You, Major General Valley, Norman Traversy, a few others signed on the Quo Warrantos that were sent over to President Trump, the ICC, the UNHRC, as well as Brigadier General Robert Holman in Ottawa in 2024, and then also to the United States military JAGs, Judge Advocate Generals for the United States Army, the Air Force, Space Force, the Judge Advocate Directorate of the Marine Corps, and of course the Navy, and then obviously to the Pentagon, DoD themselves. And you're saying, hey, they're a transnational criminal syndicate. You've just done a show a couple of weeks ago with Daniel Warren. Okay, we're talking about the white flag of parley, part of the Law of War manual, which is right in there. It's not a white flag of surrender, it's a white flag of parley. And that's exactly what we saw in a public way that President Trump delivered in Davos. Then how come they're doing an independence petition if Alberta is a subsidiary corporation of the Crown Corporation of Canada? It's kind of like having Starbucks Corporation, Canada, and then saying, these are all our Starbucks properties, right? And here's our police force, our security force, here's our baristas, right? And here are people making the meals behind the scenes, whatever. And then a subsidiary of Starbucks, might be something else like Alberta. How come they have to sign an independence petition when we all know this? We all get it. We're there. Why do we have to wait? Because part of the plan is to have the people participate in their own freedom and their own liberty. And for a guy like me and a gals that are also out there, divine lionesses that are out there as well, and families, it is a pain in the ass to wait for that to happen. However, you can also look at it as a silver lining in the cloud is that you have roughly 1 million people are projected in Alberta. There's over 50% that want separation from that transnational criminal syndicate cartel known as Canada Crown Corporation, as well as all the other ones we've seen in the Commonwealth and what they're doing, right? You must mask, you must mandate this, you need to do this, enslavement and taxes. Taxes are not lawful. They write these laws to make them legal. Like from a sovereignty standpoint, what's that all about? Well, it's getting people to say, yes, I am spiritually deciding for freedom. I'm spiritually deciding for empowerment, enlightenment, prosperity, and ensure my family continues forward. And I'm spiritually deciding to make sure that I avoid this, being one of those, right? And those are the ones who are choosing by virtue of their own actions, their words and actions, and putting it out there. They are choosing enslavement, tyranny, taxation, the continued things that go in the arm, which we know are all poison. And they are choosing 100% to continue to support, not only trafficking of humans, but also the mutilation and death of children, whether it's abortion, and it's all that other sick stuff. And I'm trying to keep this a little bit because we're bordering between YouTube and Rumble boundaries. Here, Rumble, no problem. As you know, we can go off. And YouTube still has that little thing, right? Like we're still suppressed on X. Callum is suppressed on X. Congresswoman Christina Gomez is suppressed by Twitter X. Even called it out last week to Elon Musk. Goes, hey, I am visibly throttled as a congresswoman who is a Republican, who is here in Texas, who is here to free Texas, America first, full-blown MAGA. And she even said, I got 600,000 new followers on Instagram and Facebook and lost followers on X. And, we've made many appeals to Elon and to X Premium, still visibly throttled. Grok has proven it for us 3 times, which is really powerful. And of course, those ones that you see on the screen applaud that. Yet they're literally like sheep or cattle that are lining up for their own slaughter. And that's really unfortunate too, right? We can laugh at that because that's really funny. But But also, the fact is a little bit sad. You have people, like you said, 4 to 6% lost forever. So where we are right now with Greenland is like, this is the chart. This is from a year ago. Remember, President Trump posted this, keeps posting it many times. He has made 4 posts about Canada, Carney, and China in the last day and a half on truth. So when you look at this from the United States, remember it's one continental army from the Revolutionary War. We're in America 250, which is incredible. And we know that it's coming back to this, right? We are going to welcome Canada back into America. That's exactly what 107 when he called me on December 26, 2024. That's Boxing Day night. We had about an hour and 20-minute conversation. We talked about welcoming Canada back to America, buying Greenland, and then also taking New Zealand and Australia. And as we've had Lieutenant Colonel Ricardo Bossi on the show, and I've had them here as a roundtable, 107, Colonel Bossi and myself, and said, yeah, you know, we make Australia a territory, make it public so that we have all the laws. It's a return to common law, not admiralty law. The common law acknowledges natural law and the supreme law of the land, which is divine law. And from that law, which is sovereignty, right, you have the ability to go forth and prosecute people to the full extent of the law for war crimes. And you have just law, which is very powerful because when you're following creator's law, divine law, supreme law of the land, which includes God's money, and you're backed by precious metals like gold and silver, we'll get into in a little bit here before we go to Callum joining me, then you cannot be messed with, right? The only way to be messed with is if the demons come from within. And that's part of this incredible plan to save the world. And what you just saw delivered this week at the World Economic Forum, President Trump laid down the law. President Trump, you saw, had everybody, all eyes on him. And it was truly remarkable because he delivered what is the equivalent of an American State of the Union speech to the state of the world. And as far as I'm concerned, like he has also said, getting off the plane at Air Force One in Rome, Italy, for Pope Francis's funeral last year, he said, the first time I was here to try and run the country, but now I run the world. And we just saw with the Board of Peace, by the way, a newsflash, President Putin, who is accepting the invitation of the Board of Peace the moment they have the peace agreement signed with Ukraine, Zelensky running around, who has 15 luxury homes, who earns an income of $11 million a month, and has what is reported to be a 25,000 square foot, $32 million home in Florida alone. So once that peace agreement is signed, Russia's on the board of peace. And President Putin has also said, it's put it out on Russian television, if you watch that, or you've also watched it on X through BRICS TV News, right? You have the English translation from Russian, and he said a couple of things. We don't want Greenland. President Trump can have it. We don't. Russia doesn't need it. Number two, we will contribute $1 billion to the Board of Peace, the International Board of Peace, for eternal lasting peace on the land. That's so powerful. And number three, he wants peace in the Ukraine. So he's publicly stating that, which is so powerful. And all the eyes are on him. You had the Secretary General of the United Nations back President Trump with the World Economic Forum, give him a thumbs up. You had Mark Rutte. Remember the guy in the Netherlands who wanted to make sure that all the farmers were eating bugs and would own nothing? And now he's NATO, the head of NATO. And he gave beautiful prominence to President Trump at the World Economic Forum. And you can see us all coming. So how does it get to Greenland? Well, we know it from a strategic standpoint. It's very important. We know that we have nearly the size of a number of the states in America is the size of Greenland, mostly an ice sheet, of course, but from a strategic standpoint, that has Arctic security. Golden Dome, as President Trump's pointed out, he put it out on True Social as well. We'll take Greenland. You either give it to us, or we'll take it. So the negotiation right now that's reported in very finalizing details, which I believe are 100% already done. It's just getting everybody to that point in time from an acceptance standpoint. It is what it is a $720 billion purchase in Greenland and $100,000 US per citizen. And by the way, speaking of that and how that directly translates to Alberta, United States Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent. Remember, he worked for Soros. He was a Soros partner. He ran Soros's office in London. I mean, can you see the switch and the flip of everything going on here in the plan to save the world? And the Q drops, and again, I'll talk about Scavino because it's in the intro, right? Was just truly incredible. Secretary Bessent was on Real America Voice and Fox News 48 hours ago, talking about the Alberta independence movement. And he said, Alberta is a natural partner for the United States of America. Boom. And that Alberta, the representatives, like those of the Alberta Prosperity Project, Jeffrey Rath as well, are going to be meeting this coming week in the US with officials of the US Treasury. Now, they're looking for a $500 million, $500 billion line of credit because why? Because Jeffrey Rath put out and he said, the moment we separate from Canada, they can't just say we're going to cut off this and all the Alberta pensioners, they're not going to receive their pensions. Literally said this. Well, we don't have to worry about that because if they try to do that or they do that, every Alberta pension would be paid in US dollars. And where is US dollar right now to the Canadian dollar, the loonie? Well, a dollar US buys you $1.38 Canadian. Talk about that incredible spending power. And zero property taxes is now signed into law across all the states federally. Boom. There you go. Now, what do you also have? You have, again, Miami, the new financial center. So New York's no longer the financial center of America. It's Miami. You have the open bid for 2035 for the World Expo. Do you remember the World Expos that showcased what we now know as Tartarian history, like Chicago? Absolutely beautiful. The World's Fair back in the turn of the century, late 1800s, the early 1900s, where they had electric vehicles. They had self-driving vehicles. And yes, they had Cabbage Patch Kids, the orphan train. They also had incredible light spectacles and Tesla towers and free energy from Tesla shown everywhere. Is totally gorgeous. And then all of a sudden, a cow farts, knocks over a lamp, and that's the story of the Great Chicago Fire. A cow farted, knocked over a lamp, and burned Chicago to the ground. Yet from records that have been exposed by deep divers, it certainly looks like that was actually multiple fires set and potentially even burned straight to the ground by a crisp, because there are also renderings of airships beaming what looks like lasers down upon Chicago, parts of New York, and other places there was the World Fair. And all of those structures are burnt straight to the ground, to their foundations. So maybe that was directed energy weapons, which were acknowledged, by the way, this week by the Department of War. The Chief Technology Officer of the Department of War, the Pentagon, acknowledged directed energy weapons, and that America is a mighty force and the greatest one and the most powerful in the world, and is using directed energy weapons. And the caption of it, if you followed us on X, and we reposted it, is DEWs, DEWs, on DOW, Department of War. Amazing. So here we are, another conspiracy. Directed energy. Speaking of directed energy and the amazing storm that's happening right now across part of the United States, you've got videos of people from Oklahoma and other places who are bringing in the snow and are setting it on fire. And are saying, look, this is snow from outside, bringing it right in, setting it on fire. And it looks like they're not even AI videos. And once again, saying it smells like burning plastic falling from the sky. So there is wide open still warfare out there. Look at James O'Keefe in Davos and World Economic Forum and what he just pointed out, right? He had the chemtrails, the geoengineering, and whatnot. And President Trump pointed that out, as I reiterated on the show earlier this week. You can go back and you can watch it. With regards to, we know the COVID virus came from China, came from Wuhan, and they're spraying it on us from the sky. So there are still deep state elements elsewhere who are grasping on, because they've sold their soul and they've made a bond with the devil, right? And they have no idea how much they're going to pay. Now, whether you believe in, from a religious standpoint, devil, or from a spiritual standpoint, it's a realm that is no bueno. exactly biblical as it's been written about. Maybe, maybe because the writing is more than on the wall right now. The time is running out for all of them at the lowest levels, right? Whether they're in law enforcement, whether they're in medical, whether because the United States Attorney General's office just opened a public investigation into childhood vaccines on the American Association of Pediatrics. So why are pediatricians getting paid by pharmaceutical companies taking kickbacks for giving vaccines to your children that might have very harmful and toxic ingredients now acknowledged by the HHS, NIH, and PubMed to have things like mercury in it and aluminum? And if you've ever seen that video we've shared of what happens when mercury and aluminum touch each other, it completely grows and grows and grows and grows. So imagine that in your body. My goodness, I've done everything that I can, and I continue to do it 4 years on Root Trinity Pack to continue to keep myself extremely healthy and cleanse myself of any of the toxicities, whether it's being sprayed overhead, it's in your water, it's in your food, it's on your clothes, right? Or any of the jabs that we all had as kids, childhood vaccines. Like if you're of my age or you're even, in the last 20 years still here and you had jabs, you've got to get that stuff out of your system to restore your DNA to a natural state, a healthy state, and support that, right, with great nutrition. Maybe you using and leveraging general wellness patches like X39, X49, incredible. And you've seen many of the Warriors of Wellness shows on that. And I'll also have very shortly, once again, back on the show, Dr. Christina Rahm and her husband, Clayton Thomas, the co-founders of Root. And she's just filed for another 40 patents on their all-natural quantum-ceutical nutrition, American-made, and they're on the board of RFK Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again. 40 patents on actually having clinical evidence that states they are reversing, in those cases, ADHD, autism, dementia, COVID, and long COVID, which we've seen from many published that is actually effects of the Charlie Victor 19er Jabberwocky thingamajoggers, because we're still on the YouTube. So it's amazing what's coming between now, continuing now, and through 2027. And if you need anybody else to have evidence with that, just take a look at and a reminder of this perfect example of where we've been, where we still are in certain cases, and where we're going. And that restoration is going to be very, very fast. And what you've also seen what President Trump said about the stolen elections, whether it's, Minnesota, they're cleaning everything up, and the massive fraud there, to California, the many billions of dollars of fraud. So they've got $9 billion just in the Somali fraud scams in Minnesota they've found. And he's already reported on it, President Trump. And now they said, that is a drop in the bucket compared to California, but it goes through every single state. Right. So enjoy this one right here. You can see it for yourself what President Trump is talking about, because he's discussing as well countering the massive threat from China deep state. And it's extremely powerful where we are right now. And you're really going to enjoy continuation of the growth of silver. So let's talk about, before we go over to Callum joining, the winning streak in silver. Now, on Friday, if you look back at these shows here on Rumble or on YouTube, we only got back on YouTube in November, it was. So a little over 2 months or late October. So you can see my shows from August, September, all the way through. 120 an ounce silver, called it. $5,000 an ounce gold, called it in September. $8,000 an ounce gold, called that, put that show out in November. And then where are we now, right? 375 ounce silver. Everybody's watching on bated breath. Like, Brad, when is it going to happen? Well, you just had on Friday this. The absolute golden age. The exact one President Trump had promised, and that promise was made, and that promise is kept. What else do you have going on? Well, it hit $5,002 an ounce. hit over $5,003 an ounce in the US marketplace. And also you had silver just 3 hours later, approximately, cross $100 an ounce. And remember where we are right now is China has roughly 70% of the silver's gold exports are locked up, or excuse me, precious metals exports, in particular silver, is locked up. You have an executive order that has classified silver by President Trump at the very last part of 2025, in the last 2 months, as a strategic critical mineral, an asset, as well as several others, an asset that is important to the sovereignty of America as a nation. You have it right now, which has crushed all the paper contracts of the Federal Reserve banking cartel fiat monetary system, because it is all about ending the Fed and bringing about sovereignty to the nation of America. And what's great for America is great for the world from the precepts, the principles of its Constitution and its original charter and its founding. So in the system reset, what you are seeing, once again, reminder that silver is the 47th element on the periodic table, like President Trump's 47. You have the number 17 put together from the representation from a gematria standpoint of A is the first name in the alphabet, the number 7, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and the anatomical weight of silver is 107.868. It's literally incredible to see how biblical the time is that we're all living in, isn't it? When you're standing at the precipice right now of a literal quantum financial system, which is already up and running, with the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, which has been done in the background, which has been communicated to everybody else, with their exchange ready to go in a public way, they're just waiting for their comms. And speaking of comms, the one from Dan Scavino just earlier today, where he posted a 59-second video of the Carol of Bells. Remember that Christmas time sonnet? Well, you do a deep dive in the research, as we posted at X, actually was a musical that is pre-Christian that was written in Ukraine. And when you look at that 59-second video and the Carol of Bells, which Scavino posted, it goes right back to a Q Delta of January 25, 2018. And on that Q post talks about how many people with the announcement in the UK will be very, very, very scared. All caps, very, very, very scared with the announcement POTUS makes. And you're sitting here right now waiting for that announcement. Scavino has already put it out. The Deputy Chief of Staff. The Deputy Chief of Staff of President Trump is 47, but from 45 through 47. Remember, as Derek keeps saying, the dash matters. And President Trump just a few days ago on True Social putting out, maybe I should run for a 4th term, become 48. So then you would have 45 to 48. It's absolutely freaking epic as far as I'm concerned. And remember when I mentioned when people are sitting here and they're at a crossroads, what do you choose? Sovereignty, liberty, the pursuit of life, happiness, love, prosperity, the capability for you to actually be uncoupled from the shackles of enslavement, whether it is taxes, whether it is mandates, and we're not talking about boy and boy going for a date. Mandates, which are unconstitutional, unlawful, and actually breach all the international treaties and agreements around it. Then what do you have? You have an opportunity right now to choose the $20 Canadian bill on the top with Trump as your president, or the one on the bottom. I don't know who put this together, by the way, but we've got to keep the levity up. And it's absolutely brilliant what they did. And from a realistic standpoint, remember, for anybody who's in Venezuela, who's watching this, going, hey, hang on a second. Didn't Carney sell all of the gold in Canadians' vaults when he's running the Bank of Canada and called it an ancient antiquity? His words, an ancient antiquity, which has no place in the new world of fiat dollars. And isn't that the same guy who owns Brookfield and all of its investments, over 90% of it, are in the United States, but not China or Venezuela? The guy who's just made the agreement over in Beijing before jumping into the World Economic Forum. And he totally ghosted President Trump, not going to have meetings with him. And his invitation has been rescinded to the Board of Peace. And he's talking about the New World Order. And the only two that you saw who are putting out, we need a new world order, was Carney in Beijing a week ago before showing up in Davos, and Zelensky just a few days ago at the World Economic Forum calling for a new world order. I mean, the comms are incredible when you're looking at it from that standpoint. So if you have precious metals or you're going to own it, carry on like this man on the screen right here. I absolutely would 100%, because once again, $375 an ounce silver. When are we going to see it? I believe you're going to see that 100% right before July 4th. And you can very simply do this. You can take a look at the fact that silver on January 1st, 2025, a year ago and 24 days ago, 1 year, 24 days ago, and you can look at the daily average growth rate of the price of silver from then. And depending on the exchange you're getting the information from, it was $28.21 on the opening day, January 1st, 2025, or it was $29.31. Or you want to round it up to $30. However you want to do it, right down to the penny, totally cool. So take that daily average growth rate and take it to now. So take 365 days plus 24 days to now and calculate back the daily average growth rate with silver at 103 an ounce on the bullion exchanges in the United States. Take away the fact that the US Mint has its own silver on its website at $173 an ounce, revaluing that right after the closing bell 2 weeks ago Friday, where they went, wow, let's just give it like a, what was it, a $55 or a $60 increase just like that. And Shanghai went, oh my gosh, we were at 101. They went up to 120. So you're in a full-on blown out metal war. So now what you do is you take the daily average growth rate from then to today and then project it between now and July 4th. And you tell me and post in the comments what you get for the price of silver between now and then on July 4th, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation on this planet. Post that in the comments. Tell everybody what you got. This is a great way for everybody to bond with community and get after it. And ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, take a moment and do so now. And I'll be right back with Callum Smiles, VOX Populi, who just returned yesterday morning from Davos and is still kind of yawning. So let's give him a break and give him a warm welcome when we come on, and give it a like, a share, and a comment. And we'll see you in a moment. All right, you sovereign souls, now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver if you already have not. And if you are and you have a chance to do so, I highly encourage to do so even more, because gold and silver will launch the golden age, which Commander-in-Chief Trump has continuously referenced.
The dollar is going down, and it's not a pretty picture, and it's not being sustained by proper policy and proper thinking. This was an opportunity, and maybe an opportunity to show people what's happening with the dollar so that we can do something about it.
Get some if you can. BuddhaLovesGold.com will take you to our partner Goldco. They have over 6,000 five-star reviews. This is why now is the time to buy gold and silver, because we have thousands of Americans buying gold today. The rising inflation has reduced our purchasing power. Dysfunctional politics don't work for us. The US dollar has lost over 97% of its value since 1913, while the price of gold has increased over 9,000%. Silver has fared well against the dollar too, with the silver price increasing over 4,500% since 1913. It's about wealth protection. Physical precious metals act as a hedge against dips in volatile markets. Go over to BuddhaLovesGold.com. That's www.BUDDHA, BuddhaLovesGold.com. You will download your free silver and gold guide today, and our great people over there at Goldco will take care of you. That's BuddhaLovesGold.com. You'll see a picture of me right on there, Brad Wozni. And once again, BRICS is the new financial system. Asset-backed precious metals is the way of the future. This is about financial control. Diversifying your assets with gold and silver puts you in control of your wealth at BuddhaLovesGold.com.
Mr. Trudeau, could I ask you a few questions, please?
No, sorry.
Oh, come on. It's the spirit of dialogue is the theme of the WEF this year. Well, given that we now know that the lockdown measures in Canada were wrong, do you want to take the opportunity to at least admit that and say sorry to those who were affected? Come on, it's okay to get things wrong as long as, like I said to Tony Blair, it's okay to get things wrong as long as you admit as such when you get the opportunity. Like, do you not want to take that opportunity? Because not speaking kind of speaks volumes. Or I could maybe frame it. Ignore my question.
Choice to not talk to you.
Deliberate choice. Why not? Why don't you want to talk to a free press? Okay, how about ignore this question if your lockdown measures were authoritarian and wrong? No, nothing?
Mr. Trudeau, why are you pushing LGBTQ so hard? You don't believe in traditional values?
Fundamental human rights.
And traditional values? Creation of God,
It's a
man
fundamental
and
human
woman?
rights. That they lock people up.
The Bible says he created the humans as man and woman. What are you thinking about that? Man and woman.
You wanted to ban the unvaccinated from public transport. Do you accept that that was a wrong call?
Do you believe in the Bible or not?
No?
Do you think there's a creator who will judge you after death? Can you sleep
LGBT
at night?
Is it?
Or are you worried
Lock up the end of that place.
about what is coming about you?
My cameraman producer makes a good point there that you mentioned LGBT rights are fundamental human rights, but you could argue fundamental human rights means living in a free, civilized society without having to get vaccinated against your choice. Do you not think what you said then is contradictory?
The family is the most important part of society. Why you want to destroy that?
Justin, you started smirking then when I asked you a question about how the fundamental human rights of those who didn't want to get vaccinated. Yet some people have died as a result of this. Is that really a smirking matter?
Why you pushed in Canada to vaccinate the
Pushing
people?
disinformation the way you have.
What is
That's
disinformation?
irresponsible.
What, that people have died?
In Canada to vaccinate
I'm sorry, but
the COVID vaccine.
that's not misinformation. My old cameraman's mother actually,
And you pushed them into jail.
my old cameraman's mother
Pastor Artur
actually
Pawlowski.
died after complications from the COVID vaccine. So is that misinformation? Oh, now you're laughing.
Hey, my friend. I'm trying. Shit, this would have
It's,
Danger of the COVID vaccine. You forced your people to take the vaccine.
Some business friends.
Can you sleep good?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you divine lions and lionesses, here he is, the funniest man running around, fired by Ezra Levant at Rebel News, and now loved by Ezra Levant, probably trying to court him back because of all the work he's been doing at Davos. Vox Populi, the Populi Media's Callum Smiles. You can follow him directly at the link below in the description. Welcome back, my friend.
Always
Sunday,
good to be
January
here.
25, bro. Wow. Welcome back. Welcome.
It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long. You know, the last two shows we did, I think you've been on five times
Working
now.
across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it.
Is that you or me?
That's because Asana
That's
is
not
where
me.
humans and AI coordinate work together.
Dude,
AI can spot
did we set off a
wrong,
keyword or
assign work
something?
in a synapse.
No, it's,
So everything and every
a YouTube video just started.
A YouTube video just started. Even YouTube still hates you because you're like chasing down Eric Schmidt from Google, you know, with the friggin' throwing the mic at it. Hey, Eric, what do you think about censorship and free speech? Oh my gosh. Christine Lagarde and Justin Trudeau. And it just went wild, right? Man, well done. But yeah, this is like your fifth time on. The last two shows we did last year. You came in, if everybody doesn't remember, we did the January 20th Trump inauguration live stream for like 8 hours, had like nearly 30 people on. You came on. Tell everybody what you were wearing if they haven't seen it.
I believe I was dressed as George W. Bush.
Washington.
In what? Oh, so, yeah, so So
Yeah,
yeah,
big
not to say,
difference.
George.
Big difference.
I had a big cocaine mark, and
Yeah.
and the Middle East is being bombed behind me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's trying to
No,
set off a nuclear.
Washington. Yes.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah. That was just awesome. And then we did a fucking Friday with Chris Heaven, and that was just badass. So, yeah, appreciate it. And for anybody who doesn't know, and maybe just because of what happened this week, and Callum and I are doing a weekly roundup of the WEF death of the WEF. Because he's just back straight from Davos. Thank God he's not in prison. He was a little bit late, and I was kind of concerned if Nigel Farage, that faggot, had went off and taken to prison. But it turned out he was out with his family, which is totally fine, totally fine. So Davos, this is your fourth one now, right? That you were over there.
Fourth time being the third time working it.
Yeah.
So because I went out there when I went as an independent in the September basis, try and find somewhere to stay. Because obviously, like every hotel gets chartered. Almost everything nearby is like minimum $5,000.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're a
Ridiculous.
high paying escort prostitute, right? That's what I heard.
And unfortunately, I just don't have those looks anymore. So I remember they had like all loads of 18 to 25-year-old blonde prostitutes. I think the first year I went there, I think it was like 26.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, I'm just out the bracket to earn some pocket money.
But you were wearing the shorts, the t-shirt, and the red gloves there, so
because I couldn't afford anything else.
Yeah, independent media these days. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, isn't that the truth? And Elon 2.0, did he even say anything to you when he showed up about all the times that he's been doxing your account or
He didn't come out on the main promenade. I was gutted because that literally we're talking to some of the people. They're like, "What are you gonna ask? What are you gonna ask?" And it's like, despite the fact I like to ask like proper questions and real thought provoking ones, it's like I am purely asking him for my account back.
Yeah.
Fuck the journalism. Fuck the actual hard hitting Davos questions. I want my account back.
Yeah, ixnay on that. Even Congresswoman, one of the ones in Texas, not Rep. Polina. I mean, she's been visibly throttled. Just like a couple days ago, I even said that into their premium index. I'm like, so we've been saying it, and their A-buy robot keeps coming back up. You and I talked about this already, and the same thing's happening with you on X. Like they're still visibly throttling people, and they're throttling a congresswoman who's in Texas, who's literally saying we got to get all the jihadis out and all the Somalis out, type of thing. So I mean, it's up on there. So it's still a real thing, which is important for everybody watching. Please donate. Please follow Callum, because it really makes a difference. It really helps, right? Yeah. It's independent media and supported. And since you've been fired by Ezra Levant at Rebel News for doing exactly what you did again this past week, and now Ezra is doing the same thing, finding it far more effective, right? It's pretty amazing. So
Yeah, and I think actually as well this week, us at Vox Populi, I think we actually, if viewership and how many people you reached was like the competition, I think we won.
Wow.
Like I saw some of our videos. I think at one point when we left, they hadn't had a video that hit 1 million on Twitter. Whereas, I mean, we had some that. Not only that, we had oh, sure, I'm still catching up on sleep from last week.
All right. Yeah,
we had some where it's like Alex Jones would download it, annoyingly put his logo on, cheeky bugger, and but like we were getting plus million viewers on videos that others were downloading and uploading.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Not on Sky News Australia.
Really? Oh man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they had a segment on it.
Really fantastic. Yeah, it would be great if Alex brought you on. Tucker Carlson brought you on. Elon.
Oh, I'd love to go on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, that would be completely rad. Roseanne, actually, I'll check in with them over there with her producer. I'll make that a point. And just so everybody else knows, there's one or two others you've seen here on this show, and then Sovereign Soul Show and elsewhere. Callum will start being on their shows as well as a guest. Might not be a recurring guest, but we got to get the word out. for this, like look what they did to Nick Shirley, like 120 million views, come on, Elon, this guy right here, let's get him out here and support it. What's also cool is you mentioned that before we get into some of the clips, the videos, chasing people down the street, the incredible research that you do, and you bring such phenomenal humor and comedy to it, like Stevie Wonder. We'll talk about that. Just like off the cuff, I love it. Improv is VOPULI Media. You are the only reporter there for VOPULI Media. So you are getting more views than established truth level media outlets around the world. That's incredible. Well done.
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't think about that. Yeah, no, yeah. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't want to take the credit, but I'll take a little bit.
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
It's a team effort for sure. There's some.
Yeah, I mean, especially my camera guy, James Harvey. It was his first Davos, and I was saying to him after, I was like, fair play, James. Like your first one, and you smashed it out of the park because you couldn't do it if you were just some fat lazy slob. Like it's physically demanding, and it's mentally taxing. And when it's physically demanding, when your body gets tired, your brain gets tired, and you're in Europe's highest town. You're at altitude. So you might not think anything of that, but actually the air is thin. Like you're not getting as much oxygen to the brain as you usually would. Yeah. So yeah, it's physically demanding, and yeah, he did. My cameraman was amazing. Like,
we'll give everybody a sense. The height of the altitude of Davos, Switzerland, the roughly temperature swings you have from the daytime to the nighttime, since we're in winter in January in the Alps of Europe, and then where you guys are living and posted up in order to take videos, grab those clips, and live stream it out to people, because most of the public has no idea what it takes to do that, right? It's not just a lucky moment where you've got a microphone and you can immediately identify hundreds of people who are there and chase them down, like Burla, Bill Gates, which has been one of your very successful videos, Justin Trudeau, Christine Lagarde, Eric Schmidt of Google, all of those guys.
So Eric Schmidt was a rebel. I didn't get it.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
right.
But credit where it's due.
Ezra's been studying your craft.
They did great stuff.
Controlled.
Yeah, we were staying like an hour away. Although annoyingly, it was only about 25 miles, but the last 5 miles were 20 minutes because it was literally this converted farm at the top of this mountain peak, and like you literally go like this up the side of it.
Switchback.
In an Audi Q3. Now I loved driving the Audi Q3. Yeah. However, it is not designed for old mountain roads where it used to be very small cars and carts. tight corners.
Wow. Were you guys living out of that Q3?
No, so in this Airbnb, but it would be literally big. Yeah. We would be getting back there about midnight, and then we're out the house no later than 7.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely exhausting.
Yeah. Churn and burn. What about your prep? Like, what kind of prep goes into this before you arrive? It's incredible because you literally have all these industrial figures and these political figures from around the world. And it seems like you just have this stretch of street, like just in case somebody pops out. Oh, that's so-and-so. And this is, their war crimes. So how do and then you structure it into your question making. It's freaking brilliant.
In terms of prep, I think I did less prep this year, purely because now it's kind of like a muscle memory thing. I know the lay of the land. I know that.
Your Greta Thunbergs of the world,
Yeah. So it's you to kind of I have a little look on the program, see who's going to be there, and then you just kind of it literally things like when you're flying over there, it's like what would I say if I saw this person, and like my questions, it's kind of actually really like some people were saying, oh they're amazing, they're amazing questions, but the way I was seeing it was like, what does the everyday person want to ask this person? If they could stop, breathe, and ask something calmly, what would they ask them? So that's kind of literally just the thought process of, and then if you get more time, then you can get a little bit more complex and bring up certain stats and figures. But really, my sole purpose being there was say the things ordinary people want to say, but they can't because they're not there.
Yeah.
I'm not mainstream media, and I never will be.
Yeah. Plus, you can't throat punch them whatsoever for war crimes because that's not a place that you want to do that.
Although I did get into a scrap in the co-op.
No kidding. Let's hear about that. You know,
so I had my it's like my Just Stop Oil top, but it says Just Stop the Boats.
Yeah.
And a guy comes over and he's what does that mean? I went, oh, it's about stopping illegal immigration in the UK. He went, you're fucking racist, mate. I was like, okay, here we go. So so we're arguing, and my cameraman gets his camera out and he goes to hit him the camera. So I just knocked him back and you fuck off. And and then we think that's it, it's done. Because there's some other people dragged him off. Because the copper saw me be the aggressive one. And they're like, no, this guy started. I was like, yeah, I'm just defending my cameraman. He buggers off. And then he comes back. Oh, this guy hates Billboard Chris, by the way.
Oh.
Billboard Chris is his old nemesis.
His old nemesis. Yeah. Good job with Chris, by the way. You and Billboard Chris getting together. Amazing.
Well, so whenever me and Chris get together, crazy shit happens. This is the second time we ever met in person. And it's second time, I think he's like this, these two most crazy times he was saying, like, basically when I'm around, like just something mental happens. The first time we were in Oxford and we were harassed by trannies for literally all day. But like that got strange as well because he was meant to just be there for like an hour or so, and that was an interesting day. And this one, so anyway, we take our food to the table, sat down with Chris, and I'm explaining how this fucking crazy guy just did this. He's like, oh yeah, I had a crazy guy as well who comes to me.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, our one was English. He went, yeah, my one was English. I was like, does this accurate describe? That does sound a bit like him. He went, hold on, I'll get one of the videos from last year. So we saw him last year. Turns out this guy worked tech support.
No.
So we saw him last year and he was harassing him and all this, and that video did quite well. So is it this guy? I went, that's fucking him. Anyway, so we were just about to finish. And then he comes round. And now he's brought friends.
Nice.
For his new nemesis.
Right.
And then he saw next to me was his old nemesis.
Oh,
he was like, all his Christmases came at once. that got a bit but I wonder, because we're gonna put a full video up. I'll try and see if I can get it on my phone and see if that works.
All right.
Let me try to find the chat. But the crazy thing was, so this was going on. It was initial bit of argy-bargy, and then it was just like us making look silly whilst they just F and Jeff. But this was going like 20 minutes. Not a single person interjecting. Like half the world's police are here that week, and the police never came. But it's
oh man, yeah, he's full on triggered. And you see the multiple jabs sticking out of him?
Fucking minute.
Holy cow!
That's me.
Was that Alex Horus's boyfriend right there?
Yeah. But crazy. Absolutely crazy. Of everything, like Davos is crazy anyway, but I didn't think the craziest time. And that's probably going to be the best video as well.
Yeah.
When the 20 minutes of that is uploaded, because we've got two angles we're going to splice together. And
nice.
like, I got Trudeau, I got Lagarde, I got Gates. Yeah. It's all going to be overshadowed by scrapping with some tranny lover in a in a cafeteria.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. We have like just for people to really realize how crazy people are, as if you haven't, right, in your videos. I'm going to show this one here. I don't know if you've seen this one, but
yeah, I saw him last week.
You did, exactly. All over the place. And so with Trump and the Golden Dome and Greenland and, you know, America First policy and the national security strategy and Monroe Doctrine and the corollary to that Monroe Doctrine, in Canada, there's groups of senior citizens. I don't know if you've heard about this. In the last week, said if America invades, we will blow them up. And there's even reports of them, seniors, right, that are elbows up, Mark Carney lovers, or the ones who love Pierre Poilievre, who, you know, once again is a baby killer, right? I voted in abortion, I voted in for bestiality, and I applauded the Waffen SS Nazi stormtrooper in Parliament. And there are people who are still like, I
That
love
was
it. I'm a
so
conservative party. Oh my God. And like, it's all the same satanists. And so there's boomers right now saying if Americans invade, we will plant roadside IEDs and blow them up. Seniors, like your buddy belongs to that guy right
I
there.
kind of
So
want to see that.
I'm actually considering a show called Attack of the Cyborgs, and this will be on the thumbnail right there. Whoever put together this, you know, now for sale at Toys R Us, I don't know, but whoever pulled this one together is perfect. It might be the Attack of the Cyborgs. That's what you have to worry about. They're all on
No,
SSRIs.
you call them OAPs. Oh no, I got it. I'll come back. I'll come back.
It'll come back. It'll come back. Yeah, have a brew, have a coffee. Yeah, it'll come back. So
Old aggressive pensioners.
yeah, exactly.
Old angry pensioners.
Old angry pensioners. And you know, there's reports of them that the Alberta separation, right, where, you know, all around Alberta right now, they have outlets where you can sign the petition for independence, right? You know, make Alberta a sovereign nation. You and I know, behind the scenes, 51st state. And you have a lot of these seniors, I've seen them firsthand, who are out there with petition like, Canada is not for sale. It's a corporation, woman, but you know, they're like that. Where was I going with this? The old angry pensioners. And in a way, it's a lot. It's really, really funny, but it's also very, very sad because, because like, do you realize what you're supporting? You're supporting child mutilation. You're supporting trafficking. You're supporting this. You're supporting, like you have, you know, illegal.
Yeah, but they probably think
rape and trafficking. Like this is what you're supporting. It really.
They probably think you actually mean traffic.
Yeah,
they don't like traffic.
Honk honk. Yeah, exactly. Oh mate. So we've seen the highlights obviously because it comes out of the algorithms of X and incredible stuff. You know, people showing the clips here. You know, run at you with Trudeau, running down, and all these other ones. What were some of the meaningful moments for you this time around as we talk about the weekly wrap up of the death of the WEF? And by the way, is that apropos, the death of the WEF? You know, the death of the satanic globalism on a whole, from what you just saw and witnessed?
It felt like there was less money moving, which could mean yes.
How so? How do you qualify that in context?
So it just, despite the fact I got some of the biggest scoops I've had at there ever, it felt as though actually there was, despite some of the biggest names were there, it just felt like there wasn't as much money moving round. Obviously a lot of money.
21 to 25-year-old blonde prostitutes. You mean actually with some or politicians or what?
Yeah, they now get them on from Temu and Wish.com. No, things like, so there was one building that was every year it's Reuters.
Okay.
Now the buildings they rent out are between 60,000 francs to 750,000.
Wow.
And this building just laid empty all week. You're like,
interesting.
That if you've got stupid money, paying that is no problem.
Right.
To us, that's like preposterous. Like for nearly 1 million francs for a week.
Yeah.
But for them, it's nothing. I thought, what? No, why has no one snapped that up? So yeah, it just feels as though maybe it is. And
was it quieter? Did you feel a sense of there was a little more quietness on the streets or with the people who were attending?
Quieter with elites,
not as
louder
bustling
with normal people.
Okay. Normal people in what context? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was like just protest groups there and stuff. You think usually there's not this many people that can't afford to be here.
Okay.
And you know, you'd get people who are working there agreeing with your stuff and saying like, I saw your video with such and such. That was amazing. I had one guy, he was one of the drivers out there. He pulled over and goes, hey. I was like, oh, what? He went, you're the best, man. You're the best. I saw your video. I said, he's all about the Christine Lagarde one.
Wow.
And like I'd hear my voice everywhere. And
Really?
it's like
Played on phones?
Yeah. But I'm like, where am I? I can hear it. Where am I? Yeah, it's I hope it is. I hope it's the beginning of the end, because at some point I'm gonna get too old for this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and highlights. It was good to really embarrass Trudeau, because I've seen news articles all around, like mainstream media, talk about how it was an embarrassing moment for him. Like, it would be interesting to see if he was still in office, if that would actually be one of those things that brings him down or nearly gets him close to it. But it was good. It was good to publicly humiliate him, mainly because during the conversation I mentioned my old cameraman's mother, the one who got coerced into taking jabs and died.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually at the time as well. I thought, do I show Corey this? Because obviously it's his mum, and I don't really want to drag it up. But I mentioned last night when I saw him at work, and he went, "Oh, I hadn't seen that one." I went, "Oh, well, I explained then why I didn't know if I could should I tell him or not." And he saw it, and he was happy actually that like his mum's death had some meaning in the fact that it publicly humiliated one of these people that were totalitarians,
responsible for war crimes. And that video with Trudeau laughing at the death and the vaccinations that he caused, guilty for war crimes for sure. That video went to some of the highest levels, right? Alex Jones across Canada, all the Canadian accounts that are truth-oriented, carried it, downloaded it, repurposed it, whatever, and it went everywhere.
Sky News Australia,
it's still
Times
going
of
now.
India.
Yeah, your Times of India. Congrats on that as well. It's gone everywhere. And because, the way the landscape is right now in North America and Europe, all of that stuff is not coming to light yet because of the plan to save the world strategy that you and I are very well aware of. And then that'll be like kind of the next thing to come out, because I'm probably like 40 or 50 shows in now over the years saying that I feel there's over 100 million people easily around the world who are willingly complicit in just those war crimes, and it's already been published a year or 2 years ago that at the highest levels in America, there's upwards of 9,000 sealed indictments that carry on it up to 99 names per sealed indictment, just in America alone, to be processed. So yeah, it's gonna be a great, beautiful new world, but we still have to go through some stuff. So that was Trudeau. Who else? Just kind of coming to mind, and then also highlights of what you've done, because this is truly amazing, right? It must feel a little surreal. I'm not asking leading question, but it must feel surreal where you're sitting there in the very first show we did. We're talking about your comedy and then the lockdowns and what happened with that, because you're on track to be, and you've got incredible talent and gift. And for anybody that doesn't know, there's a difference between a gift and a talent, right? A talent, like, you might not have a gift to shoot a weapon, but you can learn how to shoot a weapon extremely well, and you develop that as a talent. I totally believe that, Callum, what you have is a gift for the ability to have the wit, which is a high degree of intellect, which you also carry forward with a high degree of emotional intelligence, which is really rare for people because they associate IQ with and well, look where IQ has gotten people. They've gotten to the WEF and the WHO, right? The WHO and the WEFers, and what all that stands for, and Satanism and total tyranny on the world. But the emotional intelligence is lacking at that level of IQ, and to be able to marry that is truly wonderful. So I believe that this is a gift for you. And then
Thank you.
now to sit here, you're welcome. You totally deserve it. And to sit here now, after 6 years after the lockdowns, after the halt to everybody where you were in your career, your family life, personal, professional, and to go, you alone as the front man on camera with a very small team of like 3 people were able to achieve what networks and also independent media specialists and outlets could not. Because you ran around with a t-shirt, shorts, and these lovely red finger missing gloves and stuck a microphone in front of people and were just adamant, persistent, peaceful, and witty and funny as all get out, but dropping the truth bombs and just showing the demonism right upon them, shining a spotlight on the cockroaches, so to speak. How does that feel overall to actually know what you have contributed to mankind from a truth level?
Well, I mean, as nice as it always is to get the praise, I'm not doing it for the praise and for the,
I
for
realize
the,
that.
oh, look at me, aren't I great? I mean, it's always nice to hear. Like, I'll never get bored of hearing it. But, but no, it's just I feel I've got the ability to do it.
Mhm.
I should do it. It's I don't like seeing people get screwed over. I don't like seeing my communities get ruined. So if I can actually go up to these people and say, "Why are you doing this?" I feel like I've done something. And you mentioned like using the wit and the comedy. Well, that's very much like a character choice. I mean, also I can't help but be sarcastic at times. It's like my best jokes come at the most inappropriate times. But it's no, my thinking is that because I have the ability to stay calm in these moments. I mean, my whole journalism sort of career started for me doing Convince Me Otherwise, which is me always staying calm, having public debates with people during COVID, because I didn't like that we couldn't speak anymore. We couldn't just have a chat. We couldn't have civil disagreement. So I think that most people, they saw them, they just go up there and get angry and get in their face. Which, okay, it might be good that you vented. It might go viral because people who agree with you think that was, yeah, good on you, nice one. My job isn't for them. You're already on board. That's great. My job is for that middle majority. Those that are fairly normal, rational people, but currently can't see it.
Yeah.
So for my whole thing is like, if I'm calm, if I ask a normal everyday question, a question that affects everyone, and then do it with something humorous, they'll stick around because of who it is. Go, this guy got ambushed by this guy. Okay, he's staying calm. Oh, that's a good question. And oh, that was quite funny. So if they're laughing, they're listening. If they're listening, they're digesting information. And if it's a potent question and there's something that makes them laugh, they show a friend. They go, "Have you seen this video?"
Yeah.
And they show it and they look and they laugh. They go, "Oh my God, can you send me that?" And then they do it the next thing to someone else. So it's all about getting serious. I mean, I could have asked worse, like sort of deep end dark shit questions, but that puts people off.
Mm-hmm.
People, I could say to Bill Gates, "What's this about adrenochrome and you killing drinking kids' blood?" Your middle majority will go, "That's just crazy. That doesn't happen." Because to them that is preposterous the first time they're hearing it. Whereas if I say something like, "Look, it's a failed test. The COVID vaccines have harmed and killed people. That we all know. Do you want to apologize?" And then they see that person not even acknowledge it. They could completely ruin my trip there by giving me good answers, even if they're lies. If they go, "Oh, hi Callum, nice to see you. Well, we think this, blah blah blah." Video's ruined. It's shit. But the fact they don't want to talk, or if it's Trudeau, they'll laugh. That's what gets the normies. That's what gets the normies on board. That's what gets them thinking for the first time.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I waffled there.
Brilliant. No, it was a deep dive. Right. Brilliant. What's next? What's coming up next for you?
So we've been over the past few months. We've been filming a documentary into Tusla, Tusla. I believe in Gaelic it's a combination of two, a tus and la, which is something like new beginning or something. Anyway, that's what the state in Ireland calls the Children and Families Agency, which I forget which department it comes under, but it doesn't come under health. Whereas the HSE, which British for followers, that's the NHS. They come in different departments, they work in cahoots, and basically they like target single mothers, and kids go missing, kids are beaten. Like, it's a scandal that I think is just, it's like, if this is the surface, it's here, it's bubbling, and it's just, we got to try and get it erupt. And again, it's all about getting normal, everyday people involved. I mean, if I was to give advice to anyone watching this who thinks, I want to go do that, I want to go and like try and get some information out there, think about image, think about PR. No one wants to listen to someone ranting and raving. And also, or if they do, you sound crazy. And if you look and you sound crazy, people will think you're crazy. You might be right, but people don't care anymore because you sound crazy. It's all about being presentable.
The kids is why I started the show. You know, after what happened at the Freedom Convoy 4 years ago, and the children, like, that was it. You know, it was time to get out there. And
yeah, and that's one of the things why I think this could really wake people up. And the way, so some people are saying, why Ireland? I was like, well, firstly, it's nice to have a paid work trip. But that's like Ireland. Ireland, I think, it's big and developed enough to matter and maybe resonate across the world. I think Ireland is small enough where we can win. And I think that's what it's all about. It's about getting, you know, you look at sports teams when they're on a terrible run. It's all about getting that one good win under the belt.
Yep.
To reset things and give momentum. I think I often see Ireland as, whether it's immigration, which I think it did, because then that started kicking things off in the UK. But I think Ireland is a place where you can get a win, and it's a win that matters and has like a ripple effect.
Definitely. And when you have, you know, it'd be beautiful if Conor McGregor, I'll just put this out there, if Conor McGregor, you know, catches wind of this documentary,
he knows
you guys are doing, he knows, great. And then because the unification for all mankind, you know, those who are awake, those who choose to be awake or choose to awake, right? Those who are and those who choose, because everything's fractured right now, widely, in large part due to you and people like you being out there in front of their face and shining a spotlight on the cockroach, Callum, and putting the news out there, right? Like, well, we were taught this growing up, but this is 90% or maybe entirely completely wrong. You know, whether it's finance, Federal Reserve, fiat currency, whether it's CBDCs versus digital assets, there's our finance side, whether it's spirituality and religion, which is all going to go away. The religious institutions are like, well, the Vatican is great. Didn't your Pope just tell you that you all need to go get vaccinated? Exactly like Biden said it, wear a mask in order to come. Exactly like Biden and Trudeau said it, get vaccinated. And you cannot come to mass, you cannot come to church, you cannot worship unless you get vaccinated and wear a mask and go get another vaccination. Yet they stood there and said, no problem, even though it 100% is antithetical to the belief system that you are actually taught growing up in that type of a church, in Roman Catholicism, for example. So now the people who choose to be awake, they almost have no choice, which is the ignorance, like, keep your head in the ground, and then you get steamrolled or questioned everything and do a deep dive
suicide
for yourself. Like, my gosh, yeah, exactly, like Hillary Clinton. And the children are going to unify everybody. So what, like Sound of Freedom, there was so much if you remember when that came out, right? 2.5 years ago, summertime. And we got to see the Hollywood media go out and the normal media go, oh, children are not trafficked like this. Sound of Freedom. This is a MAGA conspiracy. Okay, there's a calm, right? Well, there's got to be some type of trafficking around the world of children. Why are you saying there never is? And now you're having it at a microcosmic level. That's what I'm calling Ireland at the moment. So no offense to great Irish people. And then you look at it in America, then you look at it in Canada and Australia and New Zealand and South Africa and Africa, and then other places everywhere around the world. Like, it's about the children. So how can we unify around the children? And if we can, well, then, what else can we unify upon to stop this slaughter, torture, tyranny, etc., which is amazing. And only people like you can really bring this out. Because I got to tell you, what you do, I cannot do. To be able to sit there and like hold myself from like throat punching somebody that I know is 100% guilty for.
No, it's really easy actually when you can make direct eye contact with a sniper. It really does calm you down.
Yeah,
I saw a comment earlier because
So what did the sniper have? Was he looking at you through a scope? And you're like, oh, okay, all right. I'll temper this one down.
I like going through all the comments, and I reply to a lot of them as well. And someone was like, "Why didn't you just punch him?" I went, "Well, I've got plans on Tuesday."
Yeah, like Burla. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just amazing. Just amazing. Awesome. So then, are you guys planning to take what you did in Davos and kind of also turn that into a documentary, just the editors and whatnot, and put it out there? Because that would be really neat. That would be really
I think we're going to put together all the best bits.
I think
yeah, because there was this. I mean, this was my bit. This is my best haul yet.
Yep.
I've not had this many good ones in one trip before. So I think we've discussed it and we think it's worth putting it all together.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah, put it all out there. And we'll help share it. Just let us know. Keep us in contact. So when are you off to Ireland for Tusla? I know you've already been there back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, we need to I mean, because we got back I got back home about 2:00 Saturday morning, so yesterday.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I've only just kind of caught up on sleep. So we need to have a chat about me and James, because I think it's just about done. We've got some staff whistleblowers, I think, that are gonna speak.
Nice.
And then I think it shouldn't. We're aiming for like late Feb, March to have it out.
Nice.
And we're looking at doing a premiere somewhere in Ireland.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Aside from your X account, is there anywhere else you recommend people follow you?
If they're interested in the Ireland stuff, head over to vpireland.com. That's VP for Vice President. vpireland.com. If you want to see all the Davos stuff, vpdavos.com. And that it basically takes to the VOX POPULI website, so you can just see all the stuff there. That's who I work for now. But it's all fun and games.
Cool. Yeah. And special shout outs. So we've got James Harvey, and just remind everybody who James is and anybody else on your team want to give a shout out.
Yeah. So he became quite well. There's John. John. Misa Wong. He's
Nice.
our Cantonese manager.
Nice.
He was out there in Davos. I mean, I think his ex, it's called Wong Think. So that's quite a witty one.
Cool.
Then there's James Harvey. He started Students Against Tyranny during COVID. Yeah, really good bloke. And it turns out, as we were driving back to Zurich, we both have the same gay taste of music. So it's funny, we're driving along. Take That came on the radio.
What is it, like Night at the Roxbury? You guys are doing this in the Audi Q3? Like, I broke the window again.
Yeah. So we listen. Take That comes on, and we both start singing this song. And then come the end of it,
don't tell me it's Celine Dion. It can't be Celine Dion.
She didn't get on. But if we were driving much longer, it probably would have come on.
Speaking of Adrenochrome, yeah.
Is she?
Celine. Oh,
that's a shame. Why is it
very
always
much?
Although she used to be really fit, but she's not that fit anymore, is she?
Have you seen it? I mean,
Tough wank.
Unfortunately, creature from the swamp or creature, something that just came back out of the grave. Yeah, risen from the grave again. It really is horrific. Seriously horrific photo.
It does look mad. Basically, we were driving, singing all this music. I was like, isn't it funny, James? People think we're racist, yet here we are singing our hearts out to gay 90s boy band songs. It's like if the left could see us now.
Backstreet Boys. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I put Backstreet Boys on.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Keeping the vibe alive. Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate it. I know you got other stuff on the go, and we'll stay in contact. And then everybody make sure you follow Callum here and have yourself a great Sunday. It's a freaking awesome week ahead. Speaking of awesome week ahead, yes, you were in Davos. Yes, you saw these elites you were chasing down on the streets. What do you feel 2026 looks like from your standpoint? Because you're deeply plugged in, both in Europe and in America. What do you feel? What is your sense of what's coming?
Good question. I know people often say every year, "Oh, this is going to be a big year," but towards the end of last year, people who go back a few years would call me crazy, and now showing me stuff. I'm like, you're a conspiracy theorist, right?
Welcome.
But it's I think my mum's more radical than me now. The point where I'm like, bloody hell, mum, calm down. It's I think normal people are really like that middle majority really starting. Still got a lot of rust to break off, but I think normal everyday people are really starting to think, which is a new phenomenon for a lot of them.
Do you see that in the UK and Ireland and Scotland as well? And then also those parts of Europe, whether it's down Spain, Portugal, Italy, France?
Yeah.
Is there a vibe of a revolution, a peaceful revolution, but okay, they're on the other side of the thinking line. They're awake now and they're like, fuck all this stuff.
I want to say yes.
Okay.
But, at the end of the day, we are dealing with some very clever people. And they can very quickly do something that really brings the boiling point down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's see how Iran goes.
Yeah. No. Very well. There's a huge, huge American presence over there.
But I think that could maybe give a bit of flavor for it for other places.
I think so. Yeah. And Trump put out in his speech about, Venezuela, Golden Dome now, as soon as he's gotten back. And he's also warned the world just 2 days ago on True Social, in terms of Golden Dome, Greenland, and I'm paraphrasing this part because he said, I've seen almost every True Social post. Some of them are intermixing in my mind too. But he's basically said, Greenland, it's ours. We're going to have it. And we're going to have it either way. And just remember, take a look at what happened in Venezuela. We are the mightiest in the world, and we will get it. In Canada, too. By the way, for a fun fact for everybody out there, if you look at the official Mark J. Carney account for the so-called Prime Minister of Canada, it does not have a gray check mark on X and never has since he was elected in April of last year.
I won money on that 7-2 Liberal minority.
Well done. Yep. Yeah, it was meant to be stolen. And
but annoyingly, I had the bloody Conservatives to win the popular vote at a big odds as well.
And you won money on Trump in the first one, right?
No, in the second one I was meant to.
Yeah.
And they fucking stole it. But no, I won a good bunch in the last one as well.
Awesome.
But there I was in Phoenix Airport, like, I'm rich.
Well, I'll also put out there to any of the American patriots, maybe they're on the benevolent side of the SES or, in the administration, the White House. I think it would be great if Callum ended up, applying for a White House press pass every now and then. He comes over to welcome him aboard, so maybe that's something you want to do. It's up to you. At least it's
I'm going to look into it.
online. There you go. There you go. So it's all set out there. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate what you do. So yeah, we'll do a follow-up in a couple of weeks. Have you come back on?
Yeah, definitely. We'll pick an evening where there's a lot more time as well, so then we
Awesome.
run as long as you want.
Yep. And after the show here, I'll make sure to get the introductions over to those people we were talking about earlier and get you on the show too. Awesome. All right, everybody. You know what to do. Give him a big thumb up, especially in the comments help, right? Let him know if you want to see him in the White House press corps. Imagine asking a question, right? Carolyn Livid probably pull you up and be like, we got to have a great guy like this, and then she can point at the fake news people and say, here's real news, there's fake, like she'll have Nick Shirley on the left. She'll have Callum Smiles on the right. That would be perfect. I'm just putting it out there. That would be perfect.
I know where else I'd rather go.
Tucker, Alex, get a hold of you. Exactly. Susie Wiles would be like, come on in. We got to have you meet POTUS. And you're like, thank you, Susie, Chief of Staff. Mr. Scavino, Deputy Chief of Staff, right on. The Eagle has landed from Great Britain.
Actually, everyone's like addressing as Mr. President, like, all right, mate, how you doing?
Yeah. Come up in your George Washington costume, be like, I wore this for your inauguration last year. There's 47.
Beautiful guy. He's one of Europe's finest.
Oh my gosh, that's great. You and Sean Farage. You know what? Maybe I should reach out to Mr. Sean Farage himself and bring you guys on. Let's do it. So, let's hear a little bit more of DJT.
People say that the Davos elite, they're great guys. They're not beautiful people. We got some beautiful, great independent journalists out there. There's Rebel News, Vox Populi Media, beautiful guys, great guys.
And Mr. President, what would you say about the incredible Callum Smiles?
I say, Elon, get him back on X. Beautiful guy.
Yeah, and the Sovereign Soul too. It's not Elon.
Sovereign Soul, he's one of Canadia's finest.
51st state. No, that's fantastic. You bring that out a little bit more. A little bit, just a touch. Put a little bit of a touch on there. That's great. Yeah. See if we can team you up. Have you and Sean Farage on the show and just have like the POTUS 1, POTUS 2 going back and forth on topics. That would be awesome. You know what? Fuck it Friday. That would be incredible. Fuck it.
I know a guy who does a much better one, mate. He's called Danny Postel. He's fucking amazing impression.
Awesome.
I'll try to put you in touch, but he's good.
Yeah. Tell you what, that could be in a few weeks. We do a fucking Friday show with Danny, me. Like, that'd be great. Right? And Sean will always get a shout out because he does great stuff. He's got a big platform too. So, yeah, awesome. Love it, man. All right. God bless everybody. We'll see you all later. Have a great week ahead. Keep following Callum.
Well, the theme of the WEF this year is spirit of dialogue. Let's have a conversation, an open dialogue. Can you answer some of these questions? Mr. Gates, can I ask you what you think about the United States, the HHS and the CDC lowering the childhood vaccine schedule? What do you think about that? Mr. Gates, what do you think about the HHS lowering the vaccine schedule in the USA? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Mr. Gates, I'm a student from Columbia. I'm building a startup that aims to democratize access to education. Can I just have 10 seconds of your time?
Ms. Gates, given the complications that came out from the COVID vaccine, do you think that it was actually wrong to push such a thing on the world? No answers? Mr. Gates, can you at least accept now that it is public domain and common knowledge that the COVID vaccine was basically a failure? Can you accept that and at least apologize to the world for getting it wrong? It's okay to get things wrong if you admit you get things wrong when you are wrong. Can you do that? Come on, Bill. The theme of the WEF this year is spirit of dialogue. Let's have a conversation, an open dialogue. Can you answer some of these questions? Okay, how about ignore these questions if there were complications with the COVID vaccine and you got things wrong and people were harmed and died?
Sorry. All right. Thanks.
Bill, can you at least answer one of those questions?
You're walking away.
Well, actually, you're walking in my way. Bill, often they say, we should trust the experts when it comes to vaccination. Yet, how are you an expert? You work in computers, you don't work in medicine, yet you seem to know so much about it. Why can't we answer these? Bill, are these people telling you what to do because you are losing your mind? You don't look very with it today. Mr. Gates? No. Now, he's being pushed around. He almost looks like Joe Biden towards the end of his premiership, where he would just walk aimlessly around the place, almost like maybe he's had too many vaccines and it's causing brain damage. You saw his people going, no, Bill, this way, no, Bill, that way. I'm not actually even sure he didn't want to answer questions. He didn't seem with it. Bill Gates, the man who pushed vaccinations on the world, who heavily pushed the COVID vaccine, where people have been harmed and died, and yet there's zero accountability from the people that push this sort of thing. So, if you like this sort of journalism, not the stuff that the BBC do or Sky News, where they don't ask the hard questions, they don't get the difficult answers which the everyday public wants, please head to vpdavos.com, where you can see all our work, you can show it, you can support our work, only if you're in a position to. I know the economy's tight, I don't want you to do what you can't afford. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was Bill Gates. The man who founded, the head of Microsoft, the man who founded Microsoft, works in computers, yet has pushed vaccines across the world, yet won't answer simple questions about them when it comes to the efficacy and the harms they cause.
If you are looking for groundbreaking nutritional products which revolutionize the way your body operates, you have to check out this cutting-edge, American-made, all-natural wellness brand. Root the Trinity Pack from GetRootNow.com is a game-changer. Let me show you. Zero In is the world's first quantum-ceutical, an all-natural, adaptogenic nootropic which skyrockets your clarity and creativity. Professional athletes have reported over a 40% increase in their performance in only 90 days. Restore is a supplement that completely restores your gut health, optimizes your true brain, helping you tap into quantum consciousness, also known as the God Mind, altogether with Clean Slate, which gently wipes out harmful heavy metals from your body, gently evacuating toxins including graphene oxide. Trinity Pack from Root altogether helps you increase your performance, longevity, deep sleep, and have a far greater quality of life. Register now at GetRootNow.com to grab your Trinity Pack. Then hit subscribe and save to get $15 back every month. Trinity Pack has also received the Gold Standard, a worldwide BSCG approval, allowing those in the military to first responders to the NFL, PGA, NBA, FIFA World Cup Soccer, and more feel assured it is indeed all natural and drug-free. Trinity Pack even comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So when you grab your Trinity at GetRootNow.com, you can feel good knowing it's endorsed by Tier 1 Special Operations Warriors, to lightworkers, benevolent healthcare heroes, professional athletes, and Olympians detoxing their systems and unleashing their greatest self from across the globe. You can also get rewarded for being part of the Root community. See you there!
Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family. And of course, if you enjoy our blinged Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.